Good morning, everybody. This is Derek Banka over at Donovan Real Estate. Hope everybody had a great St. Patrick's Day, got home safely. Today is March 18th. I am back here to give you some market stats on Eau Claire County. Had a video a couple weeks ago that kind of covered the last 2 years to paint the picture. This one digs into the last 6 months, so it gives us a week-by-week trend so we can see what's happening a little bit more in depth than just month over month. So let's dive right in, take a look. If you have any questions, please comment below. I can reach out to you individually if there's an area outside of Eau Claire County, whether it's a city, a different county that you want covered. Reach out. I can give you those stats. And if you are looking for help buying or selling, I'd be glad to talk with you and see what I can do to help. So let's dive right in and take a look. This first slide here is the total MLS. So we are the Real Estate Association of Northwestern Wisconsin. This is going to give us the average showings per day. So this is giving us what the buyer activity looks like, right? So if you look back in March of 2021, last year, we had 164 showings per day. That was the average. 2 weeks ago when I did this slide, there was an error. It read 64. So I got that fixed. We averaged 164. And if you take a look what's going on the first 2 weeks here in March, we're averaging 135 showings per day. So we are underpacing what happened last year at this time. We do still have 2 more weeks to go to see where we finish up, but we are on that upward trend. You know, we bottomed out in December. We are starting to see more activity. Weather is getting nicer. Totally expected based on our seasonality we have here that this would occur. So that's what's going on with the showings per day. So let's dive into what's going on with Eau Claire County. Okay, so this is the median sales price. Okay, now this graph and all the graphs going forward, they're going to go back 6 months. So you're going to have the last 12 weeks, then you have this gray line, and then you're going to have the previous 12 weeks. So pretty much what we have here is quarter 4 of last year and what's happened so far in quarter 1 of this year. So the last 6 months, we are at an increase of 8.7% in terms of price. Now, when I did the slide a couple weeks ago, we're up 30% over the last 2 years, and we are double-digit growth in price percentage year over year. So this is the first time last 6 months we're not in that double-digit growth. There's a couple reasons why, which I'll get into here in a little bit, but the bottom line is we're still increasing. We were at about $245,000 per home in Eau Claire County back in quarter 4. Now we're up to $266,000. So I'll have to keep an eye, see what this price does, but I expect it to continue to grow since we are in a market where demand is very high and supply is very low. So unless something external happens that's pretty crazy we can't control, this is probably going to be the trend going forward, okay? Active homes for sale. So this is Eau Claire County. What's available to take off these shelves? So if you look here, we're actually down overall 20% in terms of what's available in the last 6 months. So quarter 4 of last year, we had about 185 homes per week that were for sale in Eau Claire County. In quarter 1 this year, so far, we're at 147 per week. So we're down 20%. You can see here, though, as we were coming into getting out of fall and coming into winter, we started to decline in terms of what's available. Totally expected. We are seasonal here. And now that we're getting past, the winter here, we're starting to see that increase. So good news is we're going to see more homes coming on the market, hopefully here for sale. But we are overall down the last 6 months in terms of what's available to purchase. This is your new listing. So this is what's coming on the market new. So this can kind of forecast what the market's doing, what the sellers are really doing. So you can see they kind of, after fall took a break, we started to decline. Now we're on that upward trend. But overall, the last 6 months, we are putting less new homes on the market. We were averaging about 21 per week in quarter 4 of last year. Now we're averaging 18 a week, quarter 1 so far. So it's only about 3 homes per week, about 12 a month, but we are overall down on what's coming on the market new. So again, we are actually tied with where the highest peak was back in the last week of September. So I would guess that this is going to rise as well. Units under contract. So this here is the leading indicator of what's happening with the market. This is the most important slide. This is going to affect what's available in terms of buyers can choose from. And it also is going to affect the price. So if you look here, back in quarter 4, we were averaging 24 homes going under contract per week in that quarter. We're only averaging now 10. So it's a big difference. We're down almost 60%. If you go back to the slide here, I want to show you in terms of what's for sale. Get there. There we go. We had 218 the last week of September. So that's how many homes were for sale in Eau Claire County. This is single family and condo, okay? If you look at the first week of March, we had 206, not a big difference, pretty close. Now, if you go to what's under contract, though, those weeks, we had 28 rather, go under contract the last week of September. This first week of March, 5. So you can see we're on a downward trend. Other markets in the country are on a strict upward trend, which is, their demand is really out of control and their prices are going a lot higher. So we differ from some of those markets in that respect. Overall, we are down in terms of what's available to purchase. But this last 6 months really paints a picture that buyers kind of took a little break here in terms of what we're putting under contract. Now, keep in mind, this here is quarter one, right? Quarter one's the coldest quarter. We had the coldest winter here in years in Eau Claire. And the second point is buyers are used to this market. We've been in this market now since COVID hit pretty much, a little bit before that actually. And, they're not rushing out to purchase something like they were right when the pandemic had started or even last year. Some of them are taking a back seat. A lot of buyers have, it's been brutal for them, lost out on a lot of homes that they're trying to purchase. So those two things, along with the third thing, which is new construction. Now, 25%, right around that number of what's for sale here in the first quarter in Eau Claire is new construction, right? So when you have a new construction home go on the market, it's entered as a new home for sale, but it's 200-300 days away from being complete in most cases. So those tend to not go under contract until they get closer to their completion date, which is why you may see an uptick in what's for sale, but you see the downtick in what's going under contract. So, being it's over 15%, it does play into a factor what these under contract numbers are doing. So if you take all three of those things into effect, definitely going to have a correlation with what's going on here under contract, okay? If you look, though, this is the last 3 slides that I gave to you, and it gives you 2 side by side. So you can see we are seasonal, of course. We have that up and down, that ebb and flow, so we're on our way back upward in all the categories except for under contract. That one's been on a downward slope. So if you look, we are actually down in terms of what's for sale. We're down in terms of what's going on the market new, and this is just the last 6 months. And we're down big time and under contract. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, right? Every 3 homes we put on the market, only one's been taken off. So what that's going to do, it's going to affect the price, which is why you only saw single-digit growth in the first slide I showed you versus the double-digit growth we've had the last 2 years and year over year. So this blue line here really plays a part in what the price is doing, and it also plays a part in what the inventory is doing. So if you look on this slide here, if we're putting homes on the market but we're not taking them off as quick, you're going to have an increase in what's available to purchase. This is great news for buyers. It's the highest number it's been going back 24 months. And we're at 4 months worth of inventory for February, okay? A neutral healthy market is 6, so we're still well below that, but look how much higher we are going back the last 12 months. Now, this is only 1 month, right? As we come into the nicer months, if that under contract continues to catch up with what's for sale and start to eat that away, and it starts to maybe keep up with pace of what's coming on new or outpace that, you're going to see price increase back to that double-digit number, and you're going to see this start to shrink. So we don't know what's going to happen yet. We predict that's going to happen based on what the numbers are telling us, because we are coming into the nicer months here. And I look every day on the MLS. There is more homes coming on the market. There are more coming off. So there is more activity that's occurring. So we'll just have to wait and see, what that under contract does. That's the leading indicator that's going to affect price and available inventory. So what I'll do is after March ends in April, I'll go ahead and gather the data so we can compare this March to last March, as well as quarter one to quarter one of last year, just to see what trends are looking like, if we're keeping up pace with what happened last year, if there's something that's changing that we can go ahead and educate you with, whether it's price or what's available, or, is the market starting to soften a little bit, or what's going on. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, keep in mind, these numbers, this data I'm giving you is what the numbers are telling us, right? There are things outside of the real estate market we can't control. For example, we have a war going on. There's talk of interest rates going up 7 times this year and then 4 next year. All those factors are going to have an effect on what happens with this market. We just don't know those yet, so we'll have to wait and see. But in terms of numbers, this is what's happening. We're down in terms of what's for sale, really quarter one. We're down in terms of new inventory. We're down and under contract, and that's why price is still increasing, but not as fast. So we'll just have to wait and see. So hope that was helpful, gave you some insight. I'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll go over the data month over month, and then after that, 2 weeks after that, I'll dive into what's happening in April. So again, please make a comment below if there's an area that you're in that I can get the stats for where you specifically live, whether you're looking to buy there or you have a house to sell there. I'll be glad to talk with you and help you out. And I'll talk to you guys in a couple weeks. Have a great day. Thank you.